Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is back in action at the Magic Kingdom, and we have more information about Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party this fall. Let's dive into the details. It's Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. For all you Star Wars fans, I'm sporting my Star Wars Roosevelt shirts today, and I am very excited to hopefully queue up Star Wars this evening. I want to start with the big piece of news for this past weekend, which is yesterday, Sunday, May 3rd. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad reopened at the Magic Kingdom, and if you didn't see it, there is a fantastic YouTube video from Walt Disney Imagineering that is a ride-along with a couple of the Imagineers who worked on this new experience. The things that stood out to me, and I'm going to be heading down there soon to check it out myself, were, number one, the new track seems so smooth, and that's not surprising. I've been on the updated version at Disneyland, and I remember how different that felt being out there when that refurbishment took place, and Magic Kingdom went through that same track transformation, a completely new track, same exact layout that you know and love from the previous version, but having a brand new steel track makes the ride so much smoother. Plus, seeing what those new vehicles look like, the ride seats, they seem more comfortable than ever. And remember, if you didn't hear it, the height requirement for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, because of a lot of these modifications, was actually reduced. So it went from 40 inches to 38 inches. That is the same as Slinky Dog Dash. So if your little one is tall enough to ride Slinky Dog Dash, they don't have to wait until 40 inches to ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. They are also now tall enough to ride this attraction. The Imagineering video, if you didn't see it, shared a few more details about the special effects and the enhancements that were made to the attraction. I'm going to save the spoilers in case you are someone who does not want to know more about it until you experience it in person. And if you do want to learn more about what those special effects and enhancements are, they look great from that on-ride POV. You can, again, head to the Walt Disney Imagineering YouTube channel. That is their official channel for the full about 3-minute video recapping what guests can expect. Let's jump to not just the fall, but the summer, because Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party kicks off in August of every year, and it's hard to believe. It seems like August is so far away. It's only 3 months away. The first Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party is 3 months from this week, and we learned more about what we would see and what party dates will be this fall. It's going to be a very similar party from what we saw last year, so you're going to see a lot of, Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade and Mickey's Not So Spooky Spectacular. You're also going to see the Cadaver Dans back to sing in soulful harmony. What's new this year is Stitch is going to host a dance party at the Rocket Tower Plaza stage in Tomorrowland with the help of his friends Lilo and Angel. And as the Disney Parks blog article says, quote, after getting his paws on Lilo's costume trunk, every accessory he tries on will spark a theme swap and keep the party playfully unpredictable all night long. The tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party are going on sale May 5th. That's tomorrow. For guests staying at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels, the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin hotels in shades of green. If you do not have an existing reservation, first of all, it's not too late. You can always reach out to our travel partners at KMV Travel at kmvtravel.com/skyway. But if you are not planning to visit and stay at a select Walt Disney World Resort hotel, you can still purchase tickets. That is going to be starting on May 12th, 1 week after the tickets go on sale for resort guests. And remember that these party dates do often sell out quickly, especially the first night and the nights that are closer to Halloween. Those are very popular dates, but you have a lot to choose from. I'm not going to read all of them, but you have about a dozen dates to choose from each month. They start August 7th, 2026, and the last party date is Halloween itself, October 31st, 2026. Now, I want to transition to another happening this fall, which is the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. Disney did officially announce the dates for this festival this year. It's going to start August 27th, 2026, and conclude November 21st, 2026. You're going to see a lot of the same things you know and love from the Food and Wine Festival over the years, including those most iconic global marketplaces where you're going to get to sample food from all around the world and drink from all around the world. There's going to be those continued live performances and activities. And there are a few things that are going to be returning this year. They confirmed 3 items that are going to be returning in 2026, including over at Gyoza's of the Galaxy, the street corn style dumplings, which are chicken dumplings with tomatillo salsa verde, street corn salad, cotija, lime crema, and cilantro. In Australia, you're going to get the return of the grilled bushberry spiced shrimp skewer with sweet and sour vegetables and coconut chili sauce. And in the Alps, you're going to get the Kirschweiser tort with cherry brandy buttercream, fondant, sugared almonds, and cherry compote. Those are just a few of the things that are going to be returning. You're also going to get the return of Emil's Fromage Montage, which, if you love cheese, is a great way to sample foods around the festival booths and get a festival passport stamp for each eligible dish that you try, and you get to earn a festival treat when you complete the mission. For the little ones, I'm looking forward to the return of Remy's hide and squeak scavenger hunt, because Maggie, Emily, and I love doing a good scavenger hunt around World Showcase. You're going to get the return of the Eat to the Beat concert series. They're going to have the official announcements at a later date for who is going to be included in the itinerary and what specific dates they will be performing. And then you're going to get a lot of those familiar aspects of the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival returning. Now, before we jump to a few additional announcements from late last week, I also want to commend Disney on their Disney Week of Wishes across Disney experiences, because there was a lot that was shared on social media. And again, my voice did not allow me to discuss this further, but here we are. I want to highlight the Disney Parks blog article that talked about how Disney has participated with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And in fact, the first official wish was granted at Disneyland 45 years ago. And since then, Disney has worked with Make-A-Wish to grant more than 175,000 life-changing wishes around the world. Disney Parks blog says, quote, "Whether they're stepping into immersive adventures, meeting beloved characters, or seeing their biggest dreams come to life, each wish is a powerful reminder that true heroism is found in bravery, hope, and heart." So a few things that were announced are that Walt Disney World rededicated the newly imagined Wish Lounge over at Magic Kingdom, which is an exciting special space reserved exclusively for Make-A-Wish families to rest, recharge, and spend time together during their visit. And at the center of this celebration and this announcement was Paxton. He's a 6-year-old who had a wish to visit Walt Disney World. He stood alongside his family, alongside Disney Experiences Chairman Thomas Maslam and Walt Disney World President Jeff Valley, and cast member and former Make-A-Wish kid Abigail, to celebrate the magic the lounge will create for all of the Wish families to come. And then they, of course, had Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, who surprised the group and made a really unforgettable moment. They also shared a lot more about how Disney has been partnering with Make-A-Wish. So I'm going to link you to the article because it's an incredible cause. It's a wonderful partnership, and I'm excited to see Disney continue to grant wishes for kids all around the world. So let's transition to discuss a new piece of news that we've been watching closely, and is something as a Disney Vacation Club member I am excited to see continue to develop. And we've learned that this is not just going to be a Disney Vacation Club property. To put more specific naming around this, I am talking about Lakeshore Lodge, which is that brand new resort. If you haven't been to Bay Lake in a while, it's very clear as day, being built over across on the south bank of the lake next to Wilderness Lodge, right near the Fort Wilderness campground. It is on the same spot, or near the same spot, where River Country used to be. And they showcased, previously they just had some basic concept art, but now there's much more detailed concept art that they shared. And it even includes the fact that there's going to be a lazy river that's going to be a part of this space. There looks to be a really, even just the pool area itself with the water slide looks to be a lot of fun. And I'm wondering how much of it is perhaps inspired by River Country. But you'll also see in the concept art that there is this section of the resort on the lakefront that seems to be either one restaurant or a series of restaurants or a series of spaces that you'll get to enjoy and look at these magnificent views of Bay Lake. And the general theme of Lakeshore Lodge is connecting guests to the beauty and magic of nature. That's its promise, and it is still slated to open in the summer of 2017. They discussed some of the characters that you're going to see throughout the spaces, including characters from Bambi and Pocahontas and Brother Bear, which was another one that kind of snuck in there. It's not one that pops to the top of every Disney fan's mind when you think of films, but is a perfect one for this particular space. And there's a lot that Walt Disney Imagineering began to discuss about how the resort is going to connect guests to these outdoor spaces. They talked about these really large floor-to-ceiling windows where you're going to get these sweeping views to kind of connect you to nature. They really want to highlight the natural surroundings as a part of the resort experience. You're also going to see a lot of sunlight, a lot of natural sunlight that's going to be illuminated through these really intentionally designed spaces. Of course, that location on Bay Lake does make it prime for views of the native flora and fauna of that area. And they said that there are going to be 967 themed accommodations offered at Disney Lakeshore Lodge. And these are going to include studios and multi-bedroom villas. They are combining sophisticated style with comfort and functionality that guests have come to love. And they're going to feature a lot of warm natural materials, earthy color palettes, and upscale amenities. Now, what's new and exclusive to this resort is there are going to be 1 and 2 bedroom lake houses. Those are also additions you can see being built on Bay Lake. They do stand out if you're paying close attention. It's interesting that these are both 1 and 2 bedroom lake houses because similar spaces like the Bora Bora bungalows at Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows, or the Copper Creek cabins, of course, over at Copper Creek, that is part of Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Those are traditionally, they have been 2-bedroom spaces, but it's interesting that this is also going to include 1-bedroom spaces, which is going to be a better fit for smaller families who still want that unique accommodation. Up until this point, you've really had to think about a larger family or a gathering for it to perhaps make economical sense to select a 2-bedroom if you're just a couple or if you're a smaller family. But now you will have that 1-bedroom to look forward to. Disney's going to share a lot more in the coming months, but we'll, I'm sure, hear a lot more details, perhaps start to get some glimpses of in-room concept art, talk more about dining and beyond. So just stay tuned for more information about Disney Lakeshore Lodge. The last piece of news, which was attached to that couple of days of media information, was the fact that for the first time since 1976, there is going to be an expansion of the fleet of ferry boats that provide complimentary transportation from the Transportation and Ticket Center to the Magic Kingdom and return. So I got to share a little bit more about this because it's obviously a very exciting piece of news. And what's really interesting about this is that there were, in 1997, there were 3 individuals who were really instrumental into the development of Walt Disney World, who became the rechristened names for the existing ferry boats. So those were the Admiral Joe Fowler, the General Joe Potter, and the Richard F. Irvine. Now, the new ferry boat that's being added to the fleet, the 4th ferry boat, is going to be called the Meg Gilbert Crofton. You might remember that name. She was the 4th president of Walt Disney World. She started her career at Disney in 1977 as a marketing manager, and after several roles in the company, she took the helm as president of Walt Disney World from 2006 to 2013. And just like the other ferry boats, you're going to see Meg's portrait on the first deck of the new vessel. It was developed by Walt Disney Imagineering, and it's going to be accompanied by a plaque that will share Meg's story with generations of guests as they glide across Seven Seas Lagoon. Meg herself commented on this, and there's a quote in the Disney Parks blog article that says, quote, "I was humbled to learn that my name would be on this new ferry boat. It means so much to be recognized by the cast members I had the privilege of working with for so many years." Meg can also be seen honored already with her own window on Main Street, USA. This is going to be a 120-foot long boat, and it's going to set sail next year in 2027. So I'm sure we'll get a specific launch date for this new ferry boat in the coming months. That's it for this rather lengthy Disney News article. These are generally brief, but there was, as I said, a lot to discuss, especially because my voice was out of commission late last week. As we get out of this winter season and spring season, I'm hoping that my daughters won't bring quite as many colds home from daycare, but it comes with the territory, especially as a podcaster. But in either case, I want to thank you so much for listening to our Disney News episodes. Remember, you can get ad-free episodes and bonus content by subscribing at patreon.com/Imagination Skyway. Thank you for listening here to Imagination Skyway, and remember, as always, to keep moving forward.